Hey everyone, hope everyone is well. Thank you everyone who's tuning in, who's watching these videos. I hope that these videos have been helpful. I wanted to present another activity that I have been trying to do a little bit, and it's also about self-regulation. I know I'm doing a lot of videos about self-regulation, but I really enjoy self-regulation because I think it's so important and powerful and um, maybe even overlooked a little bit, just because sometimes we don't realize how important it is. So if a child or a student is having trouble sitting, having trouble focusing and doing work, we might think that, they're misbehaving or they're, behaving bad or they're doing something wrong, not realizing that maybe their body is just not able to sit and be able to participate in this activity right now because their system is not allowing it. Our systems, even as adults, our systems experience times that they're not fully regulated and it could be out of nowhere, right? Maybe just something causes us to feel a certain way, internal or external. So these are things that happen from, birth as we're getting older and older, all the way through adulthood. So self-regulation is huge. And again, as adults, we learn just from life different ways to cope with situations, whether it's walking away or breathing or stepping outside for some fresh air, exercising. We learn different things that work for us. Some of them are healthy, some of them are not healthy. But for our students, for our children, they don't always have these strategies in place. So I really like to do different self-regulation activities and encourage parents and teachers, educators to work on them at home or with their students as well, just because it can kind of open up different doors of possibilities where, all of these different skills that are so important to have, our bodies need to be in a position, our brains need to be in a position to receive that information. If we're not able to focus on the information that you're giving, that somebody is giving, then we're not going to be able to retain that information, process that information, as well as when our brains are in a more calm, focused, and open state, in an open way of learning. All right, so I'm using my shapes and strategies activity, which I have a video for, and it's using 5 different shapes, talking about 5 different breathing patterns. Okay, but we're doing scents. So our smell, right, is a huge scent that a huge sensory center that sometimes we don't really explore so much. So I was talking about hearing and sounds and how sound can bring our heart rate and our breathing down to a lower rate, to a more calmed response. So scent can do the same thing. Scent is heavily tied to emotion and to memory, right? If right now we talk about smelling a really yummy, delicious pastry, and we give everyone a chance to think about a pastry that they smelled. You can probably think about the place where it was, the setting, the time of day, why you were there. All these different attributes of memory can come up, right? Or if we talk about smelling crayons or markers, those scented markers, you can probably start to think back to school or a certain situation, or for our students, asking our students if the smell of crayons or different scents that they're used to, it can bring up a lot of memories. So scent is a very strong one. So scent is something that babies, when they come out of the womb, their scent is already fully ready to work, and babies actually can smell the scent of their mother. A lot of times you see a baby crying and it only calms down when it goes back to its mother, right? So it has the scent. Just like in animals, you can see that even animals who are not using their eyes, who are born without their eyes fully functioning, they still can go by scent to find their mother. So humans all have scents, right? There's millions of different scents, and we have receptors that can differentiate between all of these scents. And that's what gives different things meaning, right? Food, it gives food taste. A lot of taste comes from our ability to smell the food that we're eating. So smell is a very, very powerful one. So I want to give you guys today 5 cents for calming, 5 cents for focus, alert. All right. So we do a lot of essential oil type of things. Again, please remember, very important, that this is different for everybody. So what might be calming to one person might be alerting or not comfortable for another person. We're all hardwired and made differently. Every single person is different. No matter how similar, we are all different. So it's very important to remember that. This isn't something that's for everybody the same way. And all of our different self-regulation activities and the different things that I'm talking about is something that's different for everybody. And that's why I'm trying to put all of these different activities and ideas out there, because it's really just about finding what works for you or for your child or for your student. Because finding just one of these activities to be meaningful and purposeful can make all the difference, and children, students, they sometimes find things that they like and they focus on that. So, whether it's through sound, whether it's through breathing, whether it's through smelling or sense, if we can help, supply our children, students, or people, anyone, individuals, with strategies that work for them, that's the things, that's something that makes a big difference in their life, in their learning. And life is about learning, right? Learning and growing. All right. So I have 5 cents for you for calming, 5 cents for you for focus and alert. And these are different things that can be found at home. So I did a little scavenger hunt as well, and I found some different things. So I'll start with calming. The first one, and this is a hand lotion I found, is a lavender. All right. So 5 cents for calming are lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, and chamomile. Okay, so I did a little hunt. I found some lavender. Okay, in the yard, I found some fresh cut grass. Okay, and I found some pine. Okay, and I also have chamomile as a spice. So you might not have all of these at home. I sometimes do it as like a scavenger hunt to see what kind of things you can find. And I make this list. Some people, some families have essential oils at home. And remember, everything can kind of affect individual people individually, differently. But what I like to do with these is we can either make what I call a scent cup or a scent bag, sensory bag, smelling bag. Okay, so you want to be careful directly taking these scents in, because if it's too much of that scent, it's too potent, it can even hurt you, it can be uncomfortable. You want to avoid just smelling in very strongly any kind of scents. So the first thing I like to do is practice what we call wafting. So wafting looks like this, and it's just pushing a smell, pushing the air around the smell towards your face. So even you can just practice wafting and just smelling the air. You might be able to feel a cold influx of air that we're wafting in towards our face. So we can try different scents, and wafting them is a good way to see how they smell, right? So for example, I have this lavender and honey, French lavender and honey cream. So it's not mine, but it has lavender on it, so I'm going to give it a try. So remember, our 5 calming scents are lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, and chamomile. So this is lavender. So you can put just a little bit in a cup, right? You really don't even need so much. And it already has a strong smell I can smell. So I don't want to put my face right over this because it's really strong. I don't know how I'm going to react to it. So just wafting it in. And the cup is a nice one because it kind of forms a little vacuum almost, where only the top is open. So the scent can't, once we're wafting, part of that air is pushing it in and cycling it back out just with that scent. So I'm really able to pick it up clear, but it's not too much that it's overwhelming. Okay, so this is a nice one. I like this. So I'll try one more for calming in a cup, and I'll try my chamomile. Okay, so I have my chamomile spice. Remember, maybe we only have one at home. One that we can always find is at least fresh cut grass or pine. I mean, if we're in a city, if we don't have access to grass outside or trees, pine trees, then maybe we have these spices. So this one is chamomile, so same thing. Okay, so for me, right? So for my calming activity, I'm going to choose one of my shape strategies. And one of the shape strategies I want to choose, remember, we have 5 different shapes. Let me see if I could pick this up. Okay, 5 different shapes. Can choose one of those shapes to practice breathing with. So I'm going to do just my circle breathing, which is a big breath in and a big breath out. Okay, so for my chamomile, just to explore it, I give it a try. It's okay. My lavender, I do like my lavender better. It's more pleasing. Okay, and remember, I also have fresh cut grass and I have pine. So I can try some of those. So maybe the pine. Oh, I like pine. Fresh cut grass. Oh, fresh cut grass is nice also. All right, so setting up these cups, you can make a whole activity of just trying these different scents. But just remember that, kind of similar to smelling cologne, once you start smelling a lot of things, these scents, like I said, are tied to memory. So, that memory could still be triggered from, or you can still experience that memory just from smelling. So, things might have a lasting smell in there. So you might want to give a little break in between smelling different things. But then we try our shape strategy with it. So remember, you can put it in a cup, you can put it in a bag, make a smelling bag or a scent bag or a scent cup, and use that at a time that you need that kind of experience, whether it's calming or awakening, focusing, alerting. All right, so with my lavender that I put in my cup, I'm going to try this with my circle breathing. So it would go like this. So that circle breathing is one deep, big breath in, following a circle, one big breath out. So I'm calling this sense, shapes, and strategies because whichever shape we choose, we're drawing it or writing it on a piece of paper as well, so that we have that visual model while we're doing this activity. All right, so we have that visual model. We're looking at the circle. And this lavender is actually a good one for me. But I know for some people, lavender is aversive. So I'm giving just a couple of different ones. So these are some homemade materials. So these are my calming ones. All right. So kind of makes sense. So I'm just basically having students, children, see if you can find, or parents, see if you can find one or more of these calming scents at home. The calming ones are chamomile, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, or lavender. So see if you can find one or two of those so we can trial those. Okay, and again, you can waft it in. You can create a smelling cup or a smelling bag. And if that's one that does help to feel calm, then that's something that can be used. I'm working on, I'm going to make a video about how to make just sensory activities that can be used for increasing our focus, increasing our attention. But the biggest part about it is the individualized aspect, finding things that work for you. So maybe it's a picture of one of our shapes from our shapes and strategies. Maybe it's a picture of a drum, so we can remember to do our drum beat with our sounds shape strategies. Okay, maybe it's a bag that has chamomile, or a bag that we find of fresh cut grass or pine, so we can create this at home. Okay, so 5 for calming: lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, chamomile. Okay, next we do focus. So our focusing ones. Okay, I also did a scavenger hunt and I was able to find some of these. So our focusing ones are cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, and citrus. Okay, cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, and citrus. So I was able to find some cinnamon. I was able to find some rosemary. Oops, sorry, with the light. I was able to find some coffee, instant coffee, and some citrus via a lemon. Okay, I also have a grapefruit, but it looks nice, and so I'm gonna just save it. Okay, so I have these different scents. So again, I would say, see if you can find one or two of these 5. All right, and I'll repeat them one more time: cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, or citrus. Okay, if you have essential oils at home, you might have a peppermint one, right? So that's usually more invigorating. Remember, these all make everyone feel differently. It's different for everyone. What's important is finding what works for you, what works for your student, your child. All right, so I'm gonna try one. So maybe I'm gonna take lemon, and I could cut off just a slice of this lemon, but I'm just gonna put the whole half lemon here in my cup. Well, try it, okay? So same thing. Waft it in. You can always squeeze that lemon a little. You can do it right from the cup. If it has a texture that you don't like, then you can just squeeze this plastic cup and you don't have to actually touch the lemon. Okay, same thing with the plastic bag. And, ooh, all right, so that's a nice one. I like this lemon. Okay, so lemon is one that I like. Coffee, you know, these are ones that I did this activity in my 30 days of OT with Dan videos that I did, and it was really effective for me. So sometimes, you know, if it's like maybe you're feeling sleepy, feeling groggy, this is a good tip for parents as well. If you're feeling groggy, if you're feeling sleepy, you can cut a lemon in half and just do some breathing of it, some wafting of it. And just smelling that citrus scent is one that creates a response in our brain that gives us a focusing, alerting, awakening kind of feeling. If you have low energy, feeling sleepy, feeling tired, okay, same thing with coffee. So I challenge you guys to give it a try now. See if you can find some coffee. Remember, it's different for everyone. And waft that coffee in. So, right, it might give you an experience of memory of a cup of coffee in the morning because it's so closely tied to memory, but it should also increase some focus, increase some energy, some mental alertness. So if we're doing our circle breathing, which is the one that I chose, circle breathing, it would look like this. Circle breathing is 1 big breath in, 1 big breath out. So for our coffee, it would look like this. Okay, so I usually do 3 breaths or 3 or 4 breathings per round, and you can actually feel, I mean, I invite you to give it a try, but with some of these, you're really able to feel the experience with the breathing. So, you know, same thing with the lemon. So you can create smelling cups or smelling bags. If you put like different spices in here or put some coffee in here, the lemon, of course, the things that can go bad, you want to be careful with, but you can try different breathing strategies. So even that triangle breath, for example, would be 3 seconds in, 3 seconds hold, 3 seconds out. So right? So you can try these different breathing strategies of the different shapes and see if you can incorporate that with these different scents, okay? And even if you're just breathing in and wafting in and breathing out, it is kind of just giving an immediate response as well. But that deeper breathing will kind of root it in deeper. Again, don't want to overdo it because it could be aversive, it could be too intense, but give it a try. Go on a little scavenger hunt or send your children or students on a scavenger hunt to see what they can find inside the home, right? Pine trees or fresh cut grass outside the home. And, there's different things that give us different experiences through scent also. If we smell fresh baked cookies, right? Somebody might smell fresh baked cookies and think of a memory and have an experience where their body goes, ah, right? That's a calming response. That's the body self-regulates itself by having that experience of smelling something that it has a memory associated to an enjoyable experience, right? And it's not the same for everybody with cookies. So again, these activities are to help you or our students or our children find their own different items, their own different things that can help promote their own body's calming, self-regulation, or alerting, focusing kind of response. All right. So give you one last time our 5 and 5. So calm was lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, and chamomile. Focusing, alerting, cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, and citrus. All right. So check it out on your own. Try it out. Even if you can find one kind of scent that helps with calming, one that helps with focusing, then that will make everything worth it, right? If we could get our brains to have that experience and promote a response of calming or promote a response of focusing, then we're able to use those scents to tell our brain what we want it to do. So our brain likes to make its own decisions, and our brain is just responding to how it's become, how it's learned to act in certain situations, right? Every internal and external experience that our brain is encountering, our brain responds to it. Okay, so this is just how we can kind of externally aid our brain in doing the response that we want it to do. So, which might be appropriate for certain times like school or sleep. All right. So just wanted to share this one. Hope you guys will, and gals and everyone, people, hope everyone will give it a try. And hope it'll help. Stumbling my words. Hope it'll be helpful. Hope it will be meaningful. And self-regulation is huge. So it's really important as a precursor to skill development, and even just participation in activities. So, right, nice kind of step back perspective. And it's been a cool one to experience. It's been a powerful one to experience. So just want to share it with everyone and hope that it can help. All right. Good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, and I hope you enjoy. All right, everyone. Be well. Thank you. Bye.